to start off with a question. So this is what Matt asked. So is there value in building small incremental changes into a nutrition plan, implementing this over a period of time? So I think what Matt was getting to with this, instead of making massive changes to your diet, which, you know, it's January, there's a lot of crazy diets out there. It's kind of what happens. You know, you get food meal plans or whatever it is, and you go from eating a lot of kind of rubbish to eating like a little rabbit. It's not sustainable, and you have to make crazy changes. Remember what we're talking about. This is just lifestyle changing. This is changing your habits for the long term. So is the value in building small incremental changes? 100%. This is essentially what you should be doing. Small changes equals big effects. I'm going to give you some examples. I always like using this main example because it kind of really hits home with a lot of people. Not necessarily the example itself, but just how it kind of is. So it's an exaggerated example, okay? And we're going to use Brenda, okay? Brenda wants to lose some body fat. Brenda eats McDonald's 3 times a day, okay? She goes to McDonald's 3 times a day. For easiness, she eats a Big Mac, fries, and a Coke, and it comes to 2,000 calories. So every meal she has, 3 a day, 2,000 calories, that is 6,000 calories she is consuming every single day. So instead of getting Brenda to then eat a crazy ass meal plan, which she'll just not do, maybe for a week, and then she'll just go back to McDonald's, we're going to make some simple changes. The first one, change a Coke to a Diet Coke. Dead simple, right? Yeah. So let's say a Coke is 300 calories. She's then saved 900 calories in that day. Okay, she's made some changes. Great, Brenda's doing fine. Right, Brenda, we now need to make some more changes. So what we'll do is we'll start, you can still have your 2 McDonald's on your dinner and your tea on night time, but what we'll do on your morning, we'll start changing this up a little bit. We'll start getting a bit more fiber in there, a bit more protein. We'll just start making that a better meal. Automatically, that is going to start bringing the calories down, and then we do it with the other meal and then the other meal. And then we're always making these little changes. All these little changes make a big effect. And that's the thing. A lot of people go wrong because they try to do everything straight away. And I want to lose weight, so I want the best training program. I want the best nutrition program. I want everything now. And it doesn't work. Implementing little changes and moving from there. Okay. So that would be kind of, I would class that as the basics. People just getting hold of the basics. Now we'll move it up a level. So let's bring Sally in. So Sally comes in. Sally has her meals kind of sorted out. She's eating some good food. Now, Sally is still eating a few times a day, but she's still not losing some weight. All right, so we'll have a look at Sally's food. Just, you know, there's decent food in there. It's quite structured. But we asked Sally, do you know how many calories you're eating? Not really, but I can't lose any weight. So she's got things like mackerel, avocados, all good foods, yeah. So we get Sally to then track her calories. Sally tracks her calories and comes back and says, shit, I didn't realize there was so many calories in mackerel and avocados. There's loads of calories in there. I'm eating 2,000 calories a day, 4,000 calories a day, and I didn't even realize because all the food she was eating was very, very healthy. Avocados, mackerel, great foods. But you got to understand it's the energy that you're taking in. So as soon as we start getting Sally to track her calories, she then realizes she's over-consuming. So the foods that she's eating may be good, in theory, but the energy is too high. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how nutritious the food is. If it's too much, you're going to get fat. It's that simple. Yeah. So what we get Sally to do is just track her food. The food quality doesn't matter too much at the beginning because it's all about the quantity. It's bringing that quantity down. And once she gets the hang of the quantity and she's got her energy balance back down, she can move on to the next stage. So the next stage, this is where Dave's at. So Dave has his energy balance spot on, but Dave wants to start changing his body composition a bit more. Okay? He's training, he's doing some strength training because that's the best thing, to changing your body composition. And he wants to get a bit more specific with his nutrition. So what we do with Dave, we start tracking his macros. The most important macro, so he's got his energy, most important macro is protein. So the first thing we get Dave to do is focus on his protein. We're going to eat adequate protein, because when he's eating protein, that's going to help with his, it's going to help him retain his muscle mass. It's going to help him develop muscle. It's going to help him. It also increases your TEF, which is your thermic effect of food. So with protein, if you're eating protein, it actually increases your metabolism. So you burn more calories just by eating protein. Just not all just protein, by the way. There's another limit. So that's where Dave's at. So Dave's spot on. Dave's pushed his protein up. His carbohydrates and his fat, don't worry about them. It really doesn't matter. Unless you really focus on sport specific or really performance in the gym, then you can get more specific with your carbohydrates and fat. Don't worry what that split is. It really doesn't matter. The other thing I would want Dave to focus on, though, would be his fiber. Okay, fiber is super important because it's really good for bowel movements, making it regular. Has a lot of nutrients in it as well. So if we're thinking about fiber as foods, then we're thinking about whole grains, fruits, veggies, and they all have loads of vitamins in it. So if you can hit your fiber intake, then awesome. You're going to have a lot of nutrition. Then comes Claire. Claire has to do all these things. She's got a protein on target. She's doing energy balance. She's doing everything. Then we can take Claire up with the more advanced stages where you come more calorie cycling. And we're not going to get too much into this tonight because that's not what this is for. This is more for you to identify where you're at. So we'll go back to Matt's question about small incremental changes. Yes, small incremental changes, that's your starting point. Make some changes. You know, if your diet, if it's full of flipping McDonald's and Coke and loads of alcohol and stuff like that, and you just need to make them changes, and that's going to make a huge, huge effect. Then move to the next stage. Then start tracking your calories. How much energy actually taken in? Work on that. Then move to the next stage. Okay, get really specific. Now we're talking more about body composition. Start eating more proteins and get your fibers in. And then after that, you can go more to calorie cycling, which is more of an advanced protocol. Hope that made some sense. And hope that answered your question, Matt.